What's going on? Lee Sanders here. You're checking out an all new the RCWR Show, covering the latest in wrestling, entertainment, and beyond since 2011. Coming at you for Wednesday night of November 20th, 2019. How the hell y'all been, man? We're talking, man, this is a loaded episode we got this week too, man. We're talking, as always, AEW Dynamite, and we're also talking WWE NXT, as now all eyes are set on SmackDown and on this weekend's NXT Wargames events and Survivor Series. A lot of stuff. Oh man, a lot of stuff to go down, man. We also got some interesting headlines, including CM Punk and that solid episode of WWE Backstage. I'll definitely give you my 2 cents about that. We got some Jim Cornette news. When is Jim Cornette not in the headlines? So, loaded episode. Glad that we're doing these Wednesday night shows. As always, love hearing from you guys. We got the chat room that's open right now. Take your pick, man. We got the chat room via Discord. We also got the chat room via YouTube. We're also streaming live on YouTube. We're also streaming live via the RCWR Show app in the Google Play Store and via the RCWR Show app. We're also streaming via Spreaker. And did I mention Discord? We're streaming on Discord too. So, I mean, we're like streaming all over the place right now. So, let's have at it, man. Hey, look, these 2 episodes that we got this week from AEW and NXT, enjoyed both of them. I mean, it had a little bit of something for everybody. I really felt that I was flip-flopping like a mofo tonight and rewinding like a mofo as well. So, you know, normally I'm finding myself doing this every single week, but it kind of felt like this week in particular, I was doing it more frequently because I didn't want to miss anything from either one of these shows. Although at some point I did have to step away and get ready to do the show setup and everything for tonight. So we're going to switch it up a little bit. I know normally past couple of weeks we've been doing our coverage. We've been going, okay, this segment block and then this and this. Let's see how we do with just staying with one promotion and then go to the next promotion, right? All right, so let's just start by recapping AEW Dynamite. So this week they had introduced a Dynamite dozen finals tournament where up for grabs is a diamond basically, and I'm not really sure what is going on with this diamond. I'm assuming that whoever wins this tournament gets a shot at a future championship, right, opportunity. I'm assuming that's what the hell this is all about. Otherwise, what's the point in the tournament? So for me, and if they explain the rules, again, you gotta forgive me. I was flip-flopping like I don't know what, man. A lot of multitasking tonight. So I'll rely on you guys to let me know what was going on, but I'll try to do the best I can with the show notes here that I did take. But yeah, we had a Dynamite Dozens tournament that happened throughout the night tonight. And one of the matches that we had saw, according to the notes here, bear with me a second here. I'm just kind of looking at my notes here. AEW opened up with Phoenix taking on Nick Jackson. That was actually a damn good matchup. I like the tone that had set for AEW Dynamite. As we all know, storyline wise, as far as Matt Jackson goes, Matt Jackson is still selling that injury that had came about from Santino and Ortiz. What are they calling themselves now? Pride and Glory, Power and Glory, whatever the hell their name is. I don't like the name. It's not going to grow on me anytime soon. What's wrong with calling them X-Lax, right? I mean, or XLAX. But when you stop and think about it and you look at the way it's spelled out, it's kind of, now you see why I said X-Lax. But, or call them something else. The Illegals. Why not call them the Illegals? Try to play off of current events that's happening in the storylines and kind of run with it. I don't know. Teach its own. Anyway, different topic, another time. But yeah, we saw what they had did to Matt Jackson on last week's Dynamite. So he's out for a nice hot little bit. Kind of similar to what had went down with Christopher Daniels, if you all remember. So I definitely respect AEW bookers from this standpoint. When somebody is injured, storyline wise, as was the case with Christopher Daniels, as is the case right now with Matt Jackson, as was the case with Kenny Omega. I like the fact that they've got these guys sitting out to really sell the hell out of a particular angle that has developed on TV and on pay-per-view. So I respect the hell out of them from that standpoint, and I love that they're adding those elements. It's technically kind of bending the suspension of disbelief, so to speak. So they got my respect from that standpoint and how they're handling that. But this was a rare singles match opportunity here for a young buck, in this case Nick Jackson, and he hanged big time with Phoenix. And of all the matches tonight, I would definitely, other than the main event match for Dynamite, I would say when you get an opportunity and it's on your DVR, or maybe you're going to catch the encore afterwards, maybe checking the show out, go check out Nick Jackson taking on Phoenix. You'll definitely love that nice luchadorish technical matchup. Nick Jackson actually hanged with him. I was a little bit concerned watching this match because seeing who was going to be facing who, I couldn't help but say, oh, okay, so is Phoenix going to kind of dummy down a little bit? Is he going to tone it down because he's taking on Nick Jackson? And see, it's matches like what Nick Jackson had against Phoenix tonight that makes me say, man, I know what the Young Bucks are capable of, and it makes me double down even more and say, man, I really wish they would tell more of a technical story and less off of the high spots. Just spot fest, because when they really decide, okay, fuck the whole high spot fest, let's just tell a great story in the ring, they can deliver classic matches. And what Nick Jackson did tonight against Phoenix definitely puts a big old asterisk by that as far as doubling down and solidifying my stance on how I felt about the Young Bucks over the years. So yeah, I really hope that in the weeks to come we can see the Young Bucks kind of turn a different corner, because also you got to think as far as longevity. I know that's kind of cool for most people, seeing the Young Bucks going all over the place with their high spots and everything, but you get to that point in your career where you kind of got to be a little bit smarter, especially if you're trying to preserve your body in a way where you can still play with your kids, you can still run around, be physically active and all that. So, right, but good opening matchup there. We also saw Britt Baker, she's a doctor, right? She had a match against SHEA. Not too shabby. SHEA coming out on top of that. Interesting what is going on with Britt Baker, man. I mean, it seemed as though at one point Britt Baker was just the way she was being advertised. I'm only telling you how it came off from a distance, right? And I think everybody else will be in agreement as well. It really seemed as though AEW upper brass was really behind this girl. And it seemed as though you could have made the argument, okay, maybe she is going to be the first AEW Women's Champion. Look at the heavy promoting that she's doing here. If it's not going to be her, maybe it's going to be Nyla Rose, right? And it's just really interesting what's been happening with her character these past several weeks. It just kind of leaves you scratching your head just a little tiny bit. And on an interesting note, I find it funny that so far Britt Baker, to a certain degree, has had some type of immunity. And what I mean by that is you see that Awesome Khan and Brandy Rhodes, they have been running roughshod with certain women on the AEW roster right now, beating them up, taking lockets of their hair. And yet here's an opportunity here where you have Britt Baker at the receiving end of a defeat, and nowhere to be found is Brandy and Awesome Khan. We didn't even see them make an appearance this week. Now, I didn't check out this week's AEW Dark yet. That is something that we're going to start putting into rotation once again. I got to tell you guys something real quick, too, on a sidebar. For those of you that did watch AEW tonight, if you are a fan, AEW and NXT, if you're a fan of Law & Order SVU, I got it on the DVR and I got to turn it off here because I still got the TV on. Usually when NXT goes into overrun, I just let the TV play while I'm setting up the stream and everything. There's a really interesting episode of Law and Order SVU on right now. You have a college student, and you hear about this all the time, and you kind of feel as though this is probably one of those ripped from the headlines that they're doing with SVU. But this particular episode on the USA Network, going back 2014, there's a college student that becomes a target after her work on an online porn website is discovered by some of her peers, who in turn ended up raping her. And so the SVU team is trying to, figure out what all had went down and everything. It's a very interesting episode. I definitely would recommend you guys go out of your way and check it out if you like those type of shows. But yeah, my point was the TV is still playing. I turned it off because I'm a little bit distracted by that right now. But no, Britt Baker is like, okay, we didn't see her get attacked by Awesome Kong, Brandy Rhodes yet. And Brandy Rhodes, Awesome Kong, no appearance by them whatsoever. If they appeared on Dark, I wouldn't know. And that's why I had said what I said a few seconds ago, which is we're going to start covering AEW Dark, because it kind of feels like it makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? Since we're talking AEW, it makes all the sense in the world to talk about Dark as well. So we're going to start putting that into rotation. I think, honestly, if you were to ask me how come we haven't been covering Dark up to this point, it's because it hasn't been referenced on Dynamite. It'd be one thing if we had some type of story arc from Dark that bled over into Dynamite, but the only thing we've gotten, at least so far, is when Allie had talked about how she's been doing her thing on Dark, and now she's ready for a real challenge and everything. She thinks she's ready for the main roster. She's ready to be a part of Dynamite, and then we see her get attacked by Awesome Kong and everything, and we haven't seen her return since. So that's kind of where things are right now with Allie and a couple other girls that had got attacked by Kong and Brandy. But yeah, I think it's kind of interesting what's been happening so far, just from a storyline perspective with regards to Britt Baker. Now, I'm looking at a girl like SHEA, a veteran, and I'm telling you, I think as far as who potentially is going to be your next AEW Women's Champion, that's going to take the title off of that 90-pound young thing, I honestly believe that it's going to be SHEA. I think a really good ambassador would be SHEA. I know other people have their other favorites. I think SHEA is probably going to be the next one. We'll wait and see on that. But yeah, I've been a big fan of SHEA since she's come into AEW there. Also, we had a nice, interesting spot from the Dark Order. It was a video package that was highlighting some overweight fan. I don't know if his name was maybe Mark. I'll let you guys marinate on that. But you had this fan that was being harassed by other people, and he gets on the subway train, and then you see this weird video package that appeared on the train and on screen. Trains nowadays, when you're riding them, usually they have these little TV monitors, and you can watch some news infomercials or whatever. So you see this infomercial that kind of almost looks like something out of The Purge meets Tom Cruise and Vanilla Sky. That's the best way I can describe it. And basically it was a setup for joining the Dark Order. And if you wanted to join, all you had to do was just use the hashtag Dark Order and call them, and they'll come find you. And you're like, oh, wow, these guys actually have a phone number? What is the number? And we never did get the number. And you're just kind of left scratching your head. Wait a minute, where's the phone number? To the point, even Jim Ross had said, hey, I'm waiting for the number. Like, yeah, we all are, JR. Where the hell is the number? How are you going to promote something like that and be like, call us? And it's like, okay, well, what's the number? You're telling me we could not get $10 together for a monthly plan for 800 number? You're telling me we couldn't do that, at least for a hot minute? Oh, that would have been so fucking awesome. It really would have been. It almost kind of reminds me of back in the day when I'm a big fan, even to this day. As a matter of fact, they're getting ready to go on tour next year. I'm a big fan of Tim and Eric from Tim and Eric, Awesome Show, Big Job. And there was their Crimbus special. that they had did. Everybody that's a Tim and Eric fan knows about the Crimbus special. If you don't know anything about the Crimbus special, with this time of the year being the holidays, it's worth going out of your way to check out, right? And I love irritating my woman with the Crimbus special, because when the holidays are here and as we get closer to Christmas, I always say to her, what am I gonna get? Right? And I'm singing, that's actually one of the songs from Tim and Eric's Crimbus special. And the number, now I haven't checked probably in about 2 years, but last I checked, it was still working. There was an 800 number that you could call for the Tim and Eric Crimbus special on DVD. And the number was current. They were like, oh, you know, that's badass, right? So, yeah, I was expecting them to bust out a number and do it like that, kind of pull a Mean Gene Okerlund thing, you know, a WCW hotline, you know, when he was doing that whole thing and everything. But, yeah, they got to work on that. They definitely got to work on that. Also, Heyman and Page, he was in action. Heyman Page, and let me just, now this is where I started to get just a little bit murky here, because I wasn't really sure what was going on at this point. I believe, let me look here. I'm trying to remember who he had faced, and it's sadly not coming to me right now. So let me check my additional notes here, and that way I can kind of jog my memory a little bit more. It was a... Yeah, so actually, according to my notes here, it looks like the next up, it was a 12-man Dynamite Dozen Battle Royal match. The final 2 men left would face off next week for the Dynamite Diamond Ring. So we had Adam Page in there, Chuck Taylor, Kip Sabian, Jimmy Havoc, Jungle Boy, Pentagon, Sonny Kiss! Sonny freaking Kiss! Now, can we do a sidebar here? You guys, if you're not following me on Twitter, the Facebook, and the Instagram and all that, you really, really should, because the timing of this is very, very interesting. Okay, so let's rewind this back. Last week, I had tweeted directly, and it's very rare I do this, right? It's one thing if I'm being very complimentary of somebody, then yeah, you know, if I had them in front of my face, I would say it to their face. So from time to time, if I'm very complimentary of somebody, I will at them on Twitter. If I have constructive criticism and I'm that passionate about it and I want to tag somebody, I will do that. And last week, I actually had tagged Tony Khan, Cody Rhodes, the Bucks, and AEW. And I basically had said, hey, since my fellow colleagues and, you know, those that's part of the media world and everything like that, you know, that have yet to ask this question to Cody, the Bucks, and everybody else, Tony Khan and AEW, I'll ask it. When are we going to see Sonny Kiss on AEW Dynamite? Like, we've yet to see him on there. And, you know, it's like, what's going on here? And I kept it subtle and I kept it to the point. And Cody and them, it's interesting because Cody and them, they'll do these Q&As. They'll give us your feedback. Let us know, you know, what you guys are thinking. What improvements would you like to see happen? Blah, blah, blah. You know, we're listening. We're taking in your feedback. You know, we want to interact with you and everything like that. Now, Cody has done a few Q&As that I've picked his brain on, and he's replied. So I definitely will give him that nod. And I can only imagine that with the rise of AEW, the brand overall, and just every week, every month, it's just gotten... I can just imagine there's only but so many responses, right? But I had felt for certain that with everybody that I had tagged associated with AEW, somebody, I even tagged Sonny Kiss, and I felt that, okay, somebody's going to reply to this and be like, we're working on it. We didn't forget about Sonny. You know, how can anybody forget about Sonny? We're working on it. And my words were very subtle and to the point, and we have more and more people that were throwing in their 2 cents saying, you know, how can we have this promotion that claims to be so diverse, that is all about giving people opportunities and everything, and we have a transgendered person that's running around, but somebody like Sonny Kiss, We've yet to see them on AEW Dynamite. What the hell is going on with that? And so to see that, even though, directly, there was never a follow-up from any of these people I had tagged, here we are conveniently a week later, and Sonny Kiss is finally, is on AEW Dynamite. It's like, well, what the fuck took so long, right? Okay, so, I'm not sucking my own dick here. I'm not gonna pat myself on the back, but I will say this. I didn't see anybody else asking where the hell was Sonny Kiss on social media. I didn't see anybody else tagging AEW and asking, when are we gonna get Sonny Kiss on Dynamite? Like, what's going on? Do you guys even know what the hell you're doing with Sonny Kiss there, right? Yeah, we've seen Sonny in AEW Dark, but that's AEW Dark. That's basically a YouTube show. What's up with the main show on TNT? So I hope that this was the beginning of many things to come for Sonny Kiss, because I'll tell you, as far as highlights go, we were talking about this off and on the past couple of weeks, and I think, as a matter of fact, when we were doing the latest Pro Wrestling Crate review, I actually did review a new Pro Wrestling Crate box for this month of November. If you guys didn't check it out yet, after you're done checking out this episode, just hop on the YouTube stream and you can check it out. Hop on the YouTube channel. You can check it out. It is in 1080p. 60 frames per second of quality is all I have to say. And I was talking about some of my favorite highlights of key wrestlers from AEW right now, and Sonny Kiss is definitely on that list. I love what's going on with Jurassic Express. Apologies in advance too. I kept calling them the Jungle Express on freaking the Pro Wrestling Crate video. Even my girl was going fucking Jungle Express, and she corrected me a couple of times, and then finally it was just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna call them Jungle Express 2, Jurassic Express. But yeah, it's like Sonny Kiss, what's going on? So I'm happy to see Sonny Kiss is in there. Also, we had in that 12-man Diamond Dozen Battle Royal, we had, let's see here, Orange Cassidy, Marco Stunt, Joey Janela, MJF, Billy Gunn. Yeah. So it ended up being Paige and MJF. I repeat, Paige and MJF. So they will advance to next week's episode of AEW Dynamite from Chicago, and they will face off one-on-one. And yeah, the winner of that will be winning the Dynamite Dozen tournament. And again, this is for a diamond ring. I guess that diamond ring, I don't know if it has some type of a mystical power, or if you're going to be able to just hold that ring, I don't know, up to a lantern and say, in brightest day and darkest night, no evil shall escape my sight. Let those beware the light of Green Lantern's might. I don't know what the fuck is going on with that diamond ring, yo. I don't know if that's a case where Earth, Wind, Water, Fire, Heart, like, go planet. I don't know what's going on with that diamond ring, right? I don't know if that diamond ring is gonna fucking access some type of mystical power, or if you'll just be able to go Shazam, and I don't know what's going on with this diamond ring. So hopefully we'll learn a little bit more about that. Saw a very hilarious segment with Le Champion, Chris Jericho speaking for the first time since being fined by AEW for his actions last week when he had the temper tantrum over losing to Scorpio Sky there in that tag match. Scorpio Sky, remember, having the pin on him and everything. And Jericho had said, hey, I just want to say to the people in the back, I want to say to the AEW executives, I just want to say, and every single time he was ready to say sorry, he actually had passed the microphone over to Jack Hager, and Jack Hager was actually the one that would apologize. And Jericho had revealed that on next week's AEW, he's going to have a celebration. It is a Le Champion celebration, and he's going to be doing it in Chicago because they got two baseball teams. They got a great city, and he just went over a whole list of what Chicago has that the crowd tonight, and I didn't catch where they were for tonight's AEW. Looking in the notes here. Yeah, if anybody want to tell me where they were for this week, let me know, and I'll definitely give that nod. The crowd was definitely lit. I think they were in Indianapolis tonight. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. I believe they were in Indianapolis, but the crowd was lit tonight. And as far as where they showed the most energy and enthusiasm, definitely the Nick Jackson taking on Phoenix match. That's where they were the most, I would have to say. But yeah, Jericho had revealed he was going to have this big old party that was going to be going down next week. And you're like, okay, all right, so it's a holiday, a pre-Thanksgiving holiday celebration with Jericho. Okay, this should be cool. SCU came out, Scorpio Sky getting in the face of Jericho. Hey, nice of you to say sorry, all that jazz, but come on, man. We know why you were acting the way that you were acting, and that was because you had got pinned by me in last week's main event match, or did you forget about that? So nice little banner from those two guys going back and forth, and this was basically setting up Scorpio Sky challenging Jericho for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship next week. I'm happy for him. A 15 plus year veteran in Scorpio Sky, off and on over the years. Checked out his work, loved it, always enjoyed it. So for him to be in a position where he's going to be working with Jericho one-on-one, I'm looking forward to it. Look, is Scorpio Sky going to become the AEW champion? Probably not. But then again, stranger things have happened, people. Stranger things have happened. I like what's happening right here. That was one of my main concerns with regards to this intimate roster right now for AEW. Yeah, they're expanding here and there, but you see the core group that they're running with right now. So for me, I really couldn't help but look at this where Jericho becomes a champion and everything and say, okay, so how are we going to create new opponents for Jericho? How are we going to make things fresh? How are we going to make things interesting? And it's I got to give AEW and Jericho, I got to give them all the credit. They've been making it a very interesting championship run so far for Jericho. Loving it. Also, Luchasaurus was in a squash match against Peter Avalon. Now, the setup for this, there was a beatdown that came about from the Inner Circle to SCU. We saw Marco Stunt. He came out there. Of course, you're probably going, the hell is Marco Stunt going to do? Not a damn thing. They owned his ass. But then you also saw Jungle Boy come out there. Got a little bit of offense. He got owned as well. Luchasaurus came in there. Everybody pretty much had partied with the C's, man. They rolled out. They want nothing to do with Luchasaurus. But you had big man Jack Hager stand tall to tall, wall to wall, toe to toe with Luchasaurus, only to quietly back out of the ring. So nice little tease right there. Luchasaurus just standing right there in the ring as I guess his match was up next. He squashed Peter Avalon. Took about 30 seconds. Wish I was kidding. Squash match, nothing really to sink your teeth into. Private Party had defeated Ortiz and Santana by pinfall. Good matchup. Like the kids there from Private Party. They're coming along. They are a team that I'm continuing to watch. And I tell you what, this W that they had got over Ortiz and Santana, for me, this helps them out even more. And is it just me, or you kind of led to the impression as far as essentially one of the many things that's next for Ortiz and Santana? Private Party. So, I mean, look, if this is the way you're setting up a feud here between these two tag teams, I'm totally down with that. Also, Sammy Guevara, he had came out to attack because we had Nick Jackson. A couple other people were at ringside here because Inner Circle did try to get involved in this a little bit. So Sammy Guevara, again, Inner Circle. Nick Jackson tried to come. Dustin Rhodes, Go Dust, he came in, made the save as well to try to help balance things out. So pretty much at the end there, you had Private Party, you had Nick Jackson, Dustin, all of those guys standing tall. So that was a nice little development going on right there. Got an interesting Kenny Omega video where he was working out and he was talking about how as of late He's been doing things that he's traditionally not known for. For example, he's not known as a promo guy. Okay, he admitted that. And I like that little nod right there because he's essentially letting the public know, hey, I hear what you guys are saying about me on social media and in forums and everything. And, yeah, you're right. I own that. Whatever, right? And I like that. Unlike some people in another promotion where they're being defensive and hitting the block button every fucking chance that they get and leave it to someone with the last name Brooks to put them in place about, hey, get off the Twitter, right? Lay off the Twitter. But Kenny Omega's cutting this promo and he's basically saying he hasn't been quite the same since he locked it up with Jon Moxley, and he figures, wasn't Jon Moxley? No, actually, you would think it was Jon Moxley, right? No, it was actually Pac. The root of his frustration is on Pac. It really should be on Moxley, but it's okay. It's all good. Maybe he's just a little distracted right now. But he was talking about how he lost sight of who he was, and everything just basically goes back to losing to Pac at All Out. He gets a chance for redemption and revenge next week. So that's going to be a good one. And your main event match of the night, Jon Moxley taking on Darby Allin. Fantastic fucking matchup. I tell you what, the fans in attendance there a little bit squeamish because at one point, final 3 minutes of the match, Jon Moxley had put Darby Allin in a body bag, a real body bag. Put him in there. Zipped it up and everything. The fans were actually booing the hell out of this. They did not like it. They felt very cringe at seeing that. And this is another case right here where sadly the fans have not got themselves caught up to speed on exactly what Jon Moxley was doing prior to WWE and everything. So but it doesn't feel like it's going to be a case of a significant outrage to that of the type of match that he had against Kenny Omega at the Full Gear pay-per-view. It doesn't feel like anything of that nature as far as the outrage goes, but it was definitely noticeable to people that were cringing and were a little bit about seeing that body bag in there and everything. I guess that was a little bit too morticianist for them, a little bit too hardcore, whatever. But no, I ate this shit up. Fantastic. A little bit over 11 minutes. Good main event matchup. Moxley defeating Darby Allin. Darby Allin, I love that dude. Darby Allin is fucking insane. I love that dude. Anytime I see he's got something coming up with another promotion and it's somehow streaming for free or whatever, I usually like to go out of my way and check it out. That's a badass dude. And let me tell you something, Moxley and Darby Allin, I still feel they've only just begun. I feel that what they did tonight was only Act 1. We got a long ways to go with these guys. So I'm looking forward to seeing how much more sick, how much more are these two guys going to be pushing the envelope and everything. But just to recap on what's going to be happening on next Wednesday's Thanksgiving Eve's edition of AEW Dynamite, we're going to be seeing the Dynamite Dozen Finals as Hangman Adam Page takes on MJF. Cody Rhodes is going to be making his return. He was not on this episode. He's going to be making his return next week. He's going to be commenting more on what MJF had did to him and everything at Full Gear, right? Pac is going to be facing Omega. Scorpio Sky will face Jericho for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. So that should be fantastic. All right, let's talk NXT. NXT, this was the episode that we have patiently been wanting to see for some weeks now. It's just sad that it got to a point where we had to wait until this episode to see it all basically go down. Because when Triple H, storyline-wise, Triple H and the NXT crew, when they went and dominated the hell out of SmackDown, you're going, oh shit, well, I gotta watch Raw. I gotta see how they're gonna counter this, right? What's gonna happen here? You go to Raw and NXT owns Raw, essentially. And then you go to NXT and there's only a couple of guys, maybe from Raw, nothing really spectacular. And then NXT just keeps getting the one up. And then meantime, you're going, okay, well, NXT is punking the hell out of Raw and SmackDown, but where is Raw and SmackDown getting their one-ups on NXT? But most importantly, where is Raw poking at SmackDown, and where SmackDown poking at Raw? It almost kind of feels like Raw and SmackDown could just say, you want to team up so that we both can just kick the living shit out of NXT? Yeah, why not, right? So, for me, going into this episode, I wish this was something that we kind of had saw all along. I really, really do. I mean, who wasn't on this episode tonight for the go home to Takeover Weekend and Survivor Series? I mean, you name it. We got Seth Rollins. We freaking got to see the Revival. We got to see Zack Ryder, Kurt Hawkins, Shinsuke Nakamura, Cesaro, Becky Lynch. It was like a great who's who of people that were really selling the hell out of this go home NXT episode for the Takeover event and everything. And that was good stuff. I ate it up. I love seeing Becky Lynch out there. The crowd really giving it to Becky Lynch, letting her know, no. Yeah, we know you got your little NXT history and everything, but no. We are bleeding NXT colors. We're representing NXT. Somebody come out here and kick this little heifer's ass already. Rhea Ripley. Great ovation from the crowd. She actually stepped up to the plate. That was actually a damn good one-on-one match, and Rhea Ripley really showed to me that she can really hang with one of the main event women, in this case in Becky Lynch, and just seeing what she was able to do against Becky Lynch. And that's the thing, some of these matches that we got off the break, it basically ended up being a clusterfuck as far as interference goes, so you're kind of like, but on the other hand, you could look at it and say, well, at least we didn't spam it out for practically every single match. At least we did see some decisive wins and everything, but this was a nice little tease and everything. Yeah, Rhea Ripley, man, she's got a great freaking look. I was talking about her in the chat room, I think it was last week, and I basically had said, I like, for me, I love that whole, she's got a Amazonian meets punk rock, like Joan Jett. She also has Nightmare on Elm Street 3, the Dream Warriors, the punk rock chick that bust out the blades and everything, the switchblades from Freddy Krueger and everything. She's got that whole vibe going on. I like all that. And she's got shoulders for days. I mean, she's got some serious wide shoulders, and that's a compliment. I mean, that is one tough looking broad, and I was most curious to see how she was going to be hanging against Becky Lynch. And as far as I'm concerned, I never had any reservations that she couldn't hang, but to be able to actually see it with my own two eyes, how she was able to hang with Becky Lynch, I'm just now more confident than ever that whenever the time does come and she gets the call up to the main roster, she's going to do quite well against girls like Becky, Charlotte, Sasha, Bayley. Oh, yeah, she's going to do fucking wonders without a shadow of doubt. She will definitely succeed where Amber Moon is currently failing right now. And, I don't like saying that because I think many of us were expecting big things to happen for Amber Moon. And, in retrospect, you can't really help but kind of wonder, going back to, and I forget her name right now. Her name escapes me right now, and somebody is gonna probably tell me after the show is over and done with. But Amber Moon, remember this current gimmick that she has going on right now. She essentially jacked it from another wrestler that I believe is now part of the WWE, because I remember before she joined WWE, this was something that she kept talking about over and over again, and I wish I could remember her name, but her name is escaping me right now. Somebody knows exactly who I'm talking about, and you guys will be able to drop the name. But it's like, okay, you got the contacts, you got this whole she-wolf thing, kind of crazy Kitty, the band, you got this weird shit that's going on here, but like it's just, I don't know what it is. Everything is just not clicking as far as that connection with the fans and everything. And that's a very interesting puzzle, Amber Wolf. That is a very interesting puzzle, but I still feel that once she can find that one little missing piece of the puzzle, she needs, and I think I described it best a couple of weeks ago when we did touch upon this. She needs that Becky Lynch moment, right? She needs that defining moment that will take her to that next level. And I don't know if it's a match that'll freaking do it, or if it is, a segment, a promo segment. I don't know what it is, or if it's a combination of both of those. I don't know what it is, guys, but yeah, she's missing that one thing that'll take her to that next level. But yeah, Rhea Ripley is going to do fucking fantastic. Lacey Lane, Austin is saying Lacey Lane. It might be Lacey Lane. Let me see here. Lacey Lane. Let me see. Is it Lacey Lane? Yes, Austin. It is Lacey Lane. That is the person I was talking about. Yes, Lacey Lane. Thank you, Austin. Yeah, Lacey Lane went on this big tirade before she came into the WWE, and she was talking about how Amber Moon jacked her gimmick and everything. And Amber had the audacity to say something along the lines of, hey, I'm sorry, nothing personal, I got you, or some shit like that. And Lacey Lane was extremely pissed off, and and then she had every fucking right to be. And for those of you that have never seen Lacey Lane before, because sadly we've been looking at NXT on the USA Network for how many weeks now? And there's been no Lacey Lane. And just to give you guys a little bit of insight with regards to Lacey Lane here, I'm just looking at her bio here. I know she's worked for Shimmer, but I'm trying to see what was going on with her in WWE and everything. And I was trying to see what's going on with her in WWE, and I'm not seeing anything going on with her in WWE. Austin, did she join WWE? I thought she had joined WWE's Performance Center there, because I'm not seeing anything that's going on right now. Hang on, actually, yeah, so it looks like she is there at the Performance Center now, but there hasn't been any new update with her. I'm looking at something from the Miami Herald. They have an article here. WWE Performance Center celebrated its 6th anniversary in the summer in the growing state-of-the-art facility in Orlando, which continues to improve thanks to a talented group of coaches and staff members. So let's see here. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, so it looks like she is part of the folks there at the Performance Center. So, yeah, when you look at her, you go, holy shit. Yeah, she looks like fucking Amber Moon there. So you can't help and the little bit that you've seen of her costume gimmick-wise and all that, you look at her and your first instinct is to kind of go with the whole, oh, it's an Amber Moon knockoff. But then when you understand, no, she's the original one. Yeah, and I got Austin saying, yeah, but they changed her name to Kaden Carter. So her name is Kaden Carter now. Okay, Kaden Carter. That's why I couldn't really find anything that was going on with her. Because what I like usually doing is finding out what's going on with their freaking record and all that. Their wrestling record. And I'm not quite... Okay, so it looks like she did something recently in October. Looks like something went down in Dale City in late October. She had took on Jessie Camilla from what I'm seeing here. Yeah, it looks like that name had got changed sometime in September, it looks like. And she did make a debut on USA Network as Kaden Carter already. It looks like she had a match. Looks like it was against Rhea Ripley. So, for your information, guys. Okay. So, good stuff right there. But, yeah, let's talk a little bit more NXT. That match, sadly, between Becky Lynch and Rhea Ripley, it did get interrupted. It got interrupted by... who did get interrupted by here? Looking in my notes here. It got interrupted by Jasmine Duke, Shayna Baszler, Marina Sharif. A little beatdown right there. Everything did kind of get balanced out because you had a couple of more girls that came out and all that. So, this was kind of like the recurring theme of the night for mainly all of these matches. Now, with the exception of a few, but next up, we saw Kota Reeves. Kota Reeves was supposed to be in action. However, he got the shit kicked out of him by Ricochet. Ricochet was spoiling for a fight. This prompted Matt Riddle to come out. It was actually Matt Riddle that was supposed to be facing Kota Reeves. And Riddle wanted to fight Ricochet. William Regal signed off on it. So that was actually a pretty damn good matchup. Sadly, we did not get to see the proper finish to that one as Red Dragon, Nakamura, Cesaro, they came out. I know I still refer to them as Red Dragon. I'm talking about Roderick Strong and Kylie O'Reilly, Bobby Fish. Those guys came out and everything. So you had another straight up, beat down. Everybody's beating the crap out of each other, right? So pretty much stalemate. Vikings were in the house. Vikings had clashed with the Forgotten Sons. So you saw this happening outside of the Performance Center. It looks like it was happening in the parking lot. More on that later. Dakota Kai, great one-on-one matchup against Kylie Ray. Kylie Ray coming out on top of that one. I believe there was some more interference too that was happening post-match, even though Kylie came away with the W. And just looking here in the notes here, bear with me a second here, and I can actually tell you, it kind of seemed like almost for every single freaking match, though, we kept seeing freaking people that were coming out just beating the holy shit out of each other afterwards. It was just fight galore here. So yeah, I'm looking at the match right now between Dakota Kai and Kylie Ray. Yeah, Carmella had appeared on the apron. She was moonwalking. Dana Brooke, Sonya Deville, Mandy Rose, they attacked. That basically prompted Bianca Belair, Tegan Nox, Io Shirai, Candice LeRae. All of them came out, tried to even up the score. Sarah Logan, some of the Raw girls, they came in there as well. That had included Kairi Sane. Nikki Cross was in there as well. So, here was another case right here where, like I said, everybody from all the shows were coming out and representing on this edition of NXT. There was a great tag match too, just to back up a second there, because we're going out of order a little bit. Revival taking on the Undisputed Era. Undisputed Era picking up the W. That match was almost about 30 minutes long. Nice back and forth. Damn good tag match, man. Damn good tag match. See, Viking Raiders, they were in action against the Forgotten Sons, of which they had picked up the W. And your main event match, it was a advantage ladder match. Adam Cole taking on one of my personal favorites, fast coming to the roster here, loving his work week in and week out, Dominik Dijakovic. That was a damn good ladder match. I wish it would have went a little bit longer. That's my only gripe. That match went about 10 minutes and some change if you were lucky. But Adam Cole coming out on top of that. Yeah, Dijakovic, that dude, and I agree with what Triple H had said in a recent media conference call as far as who has like the greatest potential right now from the NXT roster, aside from Adam Cole and everything. Dominik Dijakovic, that is another one. Probably the only thing that's kind of missing from Dijakovic right now is the personality. If he can just fine-tune that personality a bit more, find his little niche, I think he can be a force to reckon with. The last thing I want to do is the last thing I want to see, rather, is what I meant to say. I don't want to see WWE go in a direction of, well, he's a big man. Let's kind of give him the Gene Snitsky, or let's kind of give him that whole, who's another one? Let's go with Tensai, or let's give him who's the guy that's out right now on injury, Lars Sullivan. I don't want to see him get kind of packaged in that kind of a category. I kind of feel as though he's above that he's better than that. I don't want to see that whole typical, tall, menacing man kicking the shit. I don't want to see that. He's better than that. But yeah, if they can kind of help him fine tune his personality more and everything, and have it bounce off of the WWE fan base, then that last little ingredient, that's all he's missing. That's the last thing he's missing, because for a big man, he's agile as hell. I mean, he's very, very universal. Whether you need a brawling type of a match, or you need a technical, or maybe you need something like what had went down here tonight with a ladder match, right? Whatever that preference you need, Dijakovic can freaking work that type of style. And I like that about him. Probably the only thing he can't really do is luchador, right? But never say never. He might be able to surprise us with a little something. Never say never. But yeah, I'm equally becoming very impressed with him. Cole, he did retrieve the briefcase to basically give his team the advantage going into that NXT Wargames Takeover event. So that's pretty much where we're standing right now. And yeah, both shows did pretty good tonight. I know AEW had once again crushed NXT in the ratings for last week. So very curious where things are going to go for this week. I mean, I'd like to come on here and I would like to say surely NXT is going to freaking hit a home run, right? They should, because everybody kind of felt, okay, this is the week. This is the week where everybody is going to be popping up and everybody is going to be showing up on NXT. You can't help but wonder, right? Like, I don't think what went down tonight was, and I know this narrative is going to be set. I know a lot of people are going to be looking at what NXT tonight and say, they were just trying to really compete with AEW. Nah, you've been following the story arc. You just knew this was going to happen, because what I've been saying the whole time, after Survivor Series, none of those guys are going to be on NXT. Those main roster guys, none of them are going to, maybe with the exception of Balor, right? Because Balor's now back there permanently and everything. But other than that, like, no. So I don't feel that this was done just for 1 week only. No, this was all about really selling the hell out of making NXT look like this is the place you want to be Wednesday nights to check out, and then at the same time putting over the Takeover and Survivor Series joints, right? So we'll go over the NXT Takeover and the Survivor Series cards, predictions and all that in just a hot minute, but we do have some shout outs we need to get into, some Patreon shout outs. We also got some sponsor shout outs we need to get into, and then we're going to actually dip into some wrestling headlines. We'll definitely kick it off with the news that had came about with Jim Cornette, in case some of you guys had missed it there. And where do we start? I want to go ahead and I first want to give a shout out to some of our sponsors for this week. Shout out to my friends over at LeafyAssets.com. If you're a real estate investor or entrepreneur, they can help protect your assets and strategically grow your business and wealth. Check them out, LeafyAssets.com. Proud sponsor of the RCWR Show with Lee Sanders. Also check out SHEABoo.com, SHEABoo.com for all natural, best skincare products made from natural organic oils and shea butter. Check them out. SHEABoo.com, truly the best vegan skincare products on earth. Shout out to my good friends over at President Evil. 3 young girls who are Muslim, Mexican, Haitian are stalked by a deranged killer dressed as the President of the United States of America. Check out the trailer and buy the movie on Amazon.com. Appreciate them. And also, we got a couple of other sponsors, but we actually got to let their ad play. So that'll be done in post-production. So shout out to all the sponsors once again. Shout out to our Patreon members. Patreon.com/RCWR Show. That's the place where you want to go for bonus audio, video content you won't be able to find anywhere else, including our Wrestling with the Topic series hosted by me and the lovely Tammy. We got our 30 with Lee series where we're tackling movies, TV shows, hidden gems, current stuff, whole 9 yards, great stuff. Exclusive RCWR Show episodes. Not to mention, you get ad-free episodes of all the RCWR shows that we put out on the open free markets every single week. Yeah, you get all of those at Patreon ad-free at most. Maybe you'll hear the Patreon shout-outs, which is a no-brainer because that's our family. You know, they basically, help us out with the show expenses and everything. But shout out to Justin Ripstock. Shout out to Sean Kenter. Sean, I'm sorry you weren't able to find the pizzas, man. Sean was like, Lee, they don't have the pizzas around my area anymore, man. Like, that sucks, man. I just say keep looking. It's got to be around there, man. Got to be around there. Shout out to Tony B Gaming. You want the very latest in all things Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, Marvel Strike Force, and the upcoming MOBA game Marvel Super Wars. Check out Tony B Gaming. He's got a great YouTube channel and a Patreon page as well. Shout out to Freddie R. Freddie! Holler at me, man. Let me know you're alive. Let me know you're doing all right. Ain't heard from you in a couple of weeks. Shout out to Michael Wolf. Shout out to John Krauser. Shout out to my buddy Anthony Missionary Thomas of Wrestling Soup. And shout out to Joe Raymond Jr. Shout out to everybody. All right, so let's talk Jim Cornette. And as I get ready to talk about this, there's one thing that I want to bring up. And I'm only going to bring it up one more time. And from here on out, I'm not going to refer to it anymore because I don't want to keep beating that horse to death because that just wouldn't be fair to the listeners that are checking out the show every single week. I will simply just be like, refer to this episode and this episode, there's your answer. But I'm going to say something with regards to Jim Cornette, not in the way that some of you are expecting, but I'm going to basically set it up with mentioning this, which is I am going to tackle the facts about what went down with Jim Cornette. And as far as giving my opinion is going to be reserved for our Patreon members. The reason being is because if you didn't listen to the Monday night show, which I recommend you do, that was a great episode. I had a lot of fun doing that. But I go into it a lot more, and not to beat that horse to death for several minutes, because it wouldn't be fair to the listeners that were with us on Monday night. But basically, I am finding that there are people that just cannot, if you disagree with somebody, that's fine. But when you disagree, there is such thing as, okay, I see your point, but I disagree with you. Point, counterpoint, and actually have a friendly debate about it. I love debate. I do. I love sitting down and talking with people, right? It doesn't even have to be in a debate style format. It could just be point, counterpoint. But we walk away. I feel where you're coming from. You feel where I'm coming from. And somewhere in there, we're able to find common ground. Nowadays, in 2019 and beyond, we have a lot of people that, no, you're stupid. You fucking are stupid. What the fuck is wrong with you, man? Nah, you fucking piece of shit. You've got people that talk like that, and it's like, okay, how can I sit down and actually have a conversation with you and try to find common ground if you're going to come at me like that? And basically, no, the only opinion that matters is mine. You're right. I'm wrong. Right? And you have, sadly, a lot of people that are out there who, when it comes to religion, politics, race relations, if they are already feeling a certain way about something, they are not going to reason. They are not going to see that fine line in the middle and, okay, all right, that's understandable. And they're not going to be rational, is the point that I'm making. You can make all the very valid points in the world, but politics, race relations, religion, and they're already feeling a certain way, and especially if it fits their narrative, if it fits their base, there's just so I have been getting a lot of, ever since we did the Miles Jordan shit and everything, I've been getting a lot of hate messages and all this other shit. So I just decided, okay, you know what? I'm going to keep this shit simplistic. I will just deal with the facts. And as far as my 2 cents from a distance being an opinion, that's going to be reserved for our Patreon members, because our Patreon members, they are a tight-knit family. And, that's the thing I love about our Patreon members, man. Our Patreon family, there's shit that's going on in their lives, shit that's going on in my life, and it's intimate. We're talking to each other. We're like one big fucking happy family. And when we disagree with each other, we know how to be civil. We know how to be respectful, because we know damn well we want to get that respect back. So we're putting it out there in hopes that we're going to get it back. And so it's a really great tight-knit group. So when it comes to the talk of politics, religion, race relations, my opinions, all on Patreon from here on out. When I talk about stuff like this Jim Cornette thing, facts. So here's the facts with Jim Cornette. Jim Cornette has been working with the NWA for a couple of months now. And, look, adding him into the whole mix, especially with NWA Power, it's like peanut butter and jelly. It just makes a whole lot of freaking sense. It does. Okay. And to his credit, he was doing pretty good. Was some of the things that he was saying on commentating a bit outdated? Yes, it was outdated. Okay. And he made headlines, as always. Jim Cornette, when has he not made headlines, right? He normally doesn't make headlines in a positive way, but he made headlines for this past week's NWA Power on YouTube. And there were some interesting words that he had to say. For those of you that did not hear the words that he said, I will actually play the audio for you guys, and you'll be able to hear it. Now, this one particular match, it was Trevor Murdoch, a wrestling veteran. We remember him from his days in WWE. Great dude, great fucking dude. He had a match against Nick Aldis, aka Magnus. And here is what Jim Cornette had said that had basically sealed his fate as far as his tenure in the NWA.
He's mad, bad, and dangerous to know. He's the only man I've ever known that can strap a bucket of fried chicken on his back and ride a motor scooter across Ethiopia. Trevor Murdoch can take care of himself, and if Nick this as seriously as he might should. Trevor Murdoch, he's mad, bad, and dangerous to know. He's the only man I've ever known that can strap a bucket of fried chicken on his back and ride a motor scooter across Ethiopia. Trevor Murdoch can take care of himself.
Okay, so just in case that might have been a little bit too loud, you guys didn't catch that. He basically said Trevor Murdoch is somebody I know that can strap a bucket of fried chicken on their back and ride on a motor scooter of Ethiopia. He's basically trying to heighten the fact that Trevor Murdoch is a tough son of a bitch. How tough is this dude? You could look at what he said, and you could look at it from a comedic relief standpoint, and you can also look at it from he was trying to put somebody over. Now, he said this exact same thing, apparently, back in 1995. 1995, there was a match that had happened with Bob Backlund. I don't know who the opponent is that he's facing. If we can get it to play here. See here.
If Lawrence Taylor wants to impress somebody, if he wants to impress me, he ought to do something really good. He ought to fly on a commuter plane without a parachute. He ought to hire OJ's defense team and win his case. He ought to strap a bucket of fried chicken on his back and ride a motor scooter across Ethiopia. Impress me, Lawrence Taylor.
And we'll let that play one more time.
If Lawrence Taylor wants to impress somebody, if he wants to impress me, he ought to do something really good. He ought to fly on a commuter plane without a parachute. He ought to hire OJ's defense team and win his case. He ought to strap a bucket of fried chicken on his back and ride a motor scooter across Ethiopia. Impress me, Lawrence Taylor.
Okay, so what he said back in 1995, and apparently there was no ramifications in 1995, but there definitely was ramifications this go round in 2019. So as a result of what he had said on this week's NWA Power, Dave Lagana, NWA, they basically had released a statement saying that Jim Cornette had resigned from NWA, as basically NWA cut ties with Jim Cornette. So this is how bad it had got. NWA had pulled the episode of Power after those comments he had made, and the episode was later re-added to YouTube with Cornette's line muted. Okay, and NWA had sent out an announcement that they have cut ties with Jim Cornette and he will no longer be a commentator for the company, saying in a press release statement effective immediately, Jim Cornette has resigned from the National Wrestling Alliance as an announcer on the November 19th edition of NWA Power. Jim made remarks during a singles match between Nick Aldis and Trevor Murdoch that were both offensive and do not meet the high standards of decency and good faith of the National Wrestling Alliance. To ensure that such an error can never happen again, we've established new procedures of review for all NWA programming going forward. We sincerely regret our failure in this regard. Meanwhile, Cornette had posted a message on Twitter. Doesn't come off apologetic whatsoever. He wrote, "Morning, everybody. Heard any good jokes lately? This coming Friday's Jim Cornette Experience, wherever you find your favorite podcast, is liable to be a good one if you like hearing stupid people tell what they can do with their stupidity." Okay? So that is pretty much where we are right now with this. Now, I will be talking about this a lot more coming up on Friday evening for our Patreon members, particularly Jim Cornette's rebuttal, once we'll have him in his own words. And I will definitely give my 2 cents on just everything, how it all was handled. But again, that's going to be for our Patreon members. But let's deal with the facts here with regards to Jim Cornette. These are the facts. Jim Cornette is a tough son of a bitch. Jim Cornette is one of the most outspoken individuals that you will ever come across. If there is anybody that has taken to social media and has had a very successful career in the podcasting industry, Jim Cornette is definitely one of those people that came on pretty late. You know, when you really kind of stop and think about it, as far as the whole podcasting game and all that goes, you know, he came on board rather late. Jim Cornette is unapologetic. He does not care about your feelings, if he hurts them or not. He is going to speak his piece. He is going to speak his truth, and if you do not agree with what he has to say, thank you, fuck you, bye. Those are his words, right down to the point. It's on a fucking t-shirt, right? Now, here is another fact. Anybody that decides they want to do business with Jim Cornette, you have a long track record, a long history of a track record of what Jim Cornette is about. So one cannot say, I didn't see this coming. I was not expecting this. I never knew that Cornette was capable of X, Y, Z, right? These are the facts. What is also a fact is that Jim Cornette has unfortunately had a history of his mouth getting himself into some bad spots. Okay? One recent example was he had some choice words to say about former WWE ring announcer Justin Roberts. And anybody that does not know about this, and I'm really surprised that this has not picked up more headlines. I really am. I was quite taken back when I actually had found out, wow, he actually had said that about Justin Roberts. And the words that he used, he said that Justin Roberts guy, and I'm paraphrasing here, but this is about 95.5% accurate. I said, yeah, that Justin Roberts dude, he looks creepy as fuck. He looks like a child molester. I wouldn't trust him around my kid. You know, I don't trust him around any kids. And you're kind of like, whoa, you realize that is a form of slander and defamation of character, right? Like, you want to be so quick to sue people for using your name and your likeliness for t-shirt designs and all that, yet you're saying that about somebody that could easily turn right around and sue you, and they would be well in their right to do so. Like, what the fuck? Okay, so these are facts. You know, he has said things that without a doubt has made head turns and has gotten him in trouble. And so the track record, the history, it's all there. Why people are even acting shocked is beyond me, because people shouldn't be surprised at this. But understanding where we are right now, you got to go back and you got to look at the history with Cornette. You just got to. There's another very interesting clip that's floating around on social media right now, and it involves him having some type of a outdoor conversation. I don't know if it was maybe on a loading dock or what, but the person that uploaded this clip had added in a closed captioning of what all he was saying and everything, where the N-word was being used. Okay? And I don't have anything as far as how do I explain what he said in that clip, the usage of the N-word and all of that. You know, you're asking me for my opinion. I'm not going to give that to you on here. I'm dealing with the facts, and everything that I just said leads up to where we are now. But again, NWA, Billy Corgan, Dave Lagana, they knew what they were getting themselves into with Mr. Jim Cornette long before. So all I'm saying is that, yeah, just doesn't sound right, does it? Right? Doesn't sound wrong either, does it? So that's all I'm going to say, people. That's all I'm going to say. I know you guys are like, no, Lee, please say a little bit more, please. I want to know your 2 cents. It's like, that's all I have to say. That's all I'm willing to say. That's all I will say for the free open shows. But I will say this. I'm going to miss his work. I will definitely say that. The little bit of NWA power I have seen, I've enjoyed his shit. You know, and sadly, I came on board late with regards to his work over at MLW. I came on board very late to that. And, you know, it's now, again, he's going to be doing his podcast this Friday. That should be very interesting, and that's the only reason why, like, for our Patreon members wondering why not talk about it tonight, because he's doing the podcast Friday. And I want to have the complete picture of what all happened, because he's going to be able to tell us things that the dirt sheets are not reporting. He's going to be able to tell us things that maybe was just between Lagana, Corgan, and that he's going to be able to double down on and everything. So that's why I'm holding off until Friday. But yeah, they cut ties with him. So CM Punk, if there was ever a reason to watch WWE backstage, you had a reason this past Tuesday. CM Punk was there basically for the whole freaking hour, and he sounded off on a whole lot of things going on with him, and I love this. I love this tremendously. It was a great episode of WWE Backstage. If you guys had missed it, have no fear. It's going to be coming on a couple of more times this week. So you guys aren't totally left out in the dark just yet here. But I got to tell you, you know what? Somebody help me out, because I think there was a new WWE Backstage rating for CM Punk. I want to say that it had hit 100K. I'm not really sure about that, but I'm actually trying to see if I can pull it up right now here. Yeah, he gave WWE Backstage a 80% boost in the ratings. Yeah, Tuesday night's episode of WWE Backstage, which marked the first time CM Punk was on the show as an analyst. That episode, according to Showbuzz Daily, I trust these guys tremendously, the show had drew 180,000 viewers on Fox Sports 1, or FS1 as I like to call it. And again, that is a 80% increase from the week before. While the show only drew a .10 rating, it did mark the first time the show cracked cable's top 150 programs for the night since it officially debuted on FS1, and shows continued audience growth after the ghastly 49,000 viewers for the November 5th premiere. So that was just, pretty fantastic. And there was a couple of points that he had to say with regards to what he's been thinking about some things that he's seeing in the WWE. And on the product itself, here's what he had to say. I think the product is the same as when I left it. That is what Punk had said about the current product. Wrestling could be so much better. It could be so much more. Obviously, there's a reason myself, yourself, everybody who puts on a pair of boots fell in love with professional wrestling. And regardless of what I think of the product now, the opinion is the same as when I was there. Stuff is overproduced. Stuff's micromanaged. I think the best characters, the people the fans love the most throughout all of wrestling, are the characters that they get to figure stuff out themselves instead of being told what to do by somebody who've never done anything, never been anywhere, never drew money, brother. So I think there's a lot wrong with it, but I see a lot of bright spots. And as far as the bright spots, he put over the women. He said, I like all the women. I don't like the forced women's revolution thing. Let the women be the women, and they'll show you why they kick ass and why they belong. You don't need to put a hashtag label on everything. Selfishly, I think I like the NXT thing because I see a lot of myself in a lot of that. I was an indie wrestling guy. I was in WWE developmental and told I was never going to be brought to television. So I know the struggle. I think those are the characters that are, for lack of a better term, least tainted. They still feel new. They're like the new toys. And he also had tackled Seth Rollins. And Seth Rollins, as you all know by now, went on social media. Hey, challenge me, Punk. Fight me. Fight me. And CM Punk countered that and said, this isn't the show where you come on and shoot your little angles. Seth needs to stop tweeting and realize that sometimes it's better to be viewed as the fool and shut your mouth than open your mouth and remove all doubt. So some very, very interesting things that he had to say right there. And he also had some stuff to say with regards to his WWE return. Now, I actually had shared that on Facebook, and it's pretty much kind of picking up where we kind of felt as far as CM Punk returning to the ring. It's just a matter of time. And I know some people are having fun with the gifts and everything, but look, when you're reading between the lines of what he's basically saying, it's going to happen. It's just a matter of when the hell is it going to happen, right? But with regards to a return to WWE and everything, and working with Fox for WWE Backstage, he says, I do not work with, have any relationship with, and have not talked to anyone in WWE. It's strictly a Fox thing. I get to criticize the product. All right, so he had that to say. And then as far as the return to WWE, stepping foot in the ring and all of that other jazz, very cryptic message that he had put in there. And see if I can actually find that. Here it is. This is what he had to say, and I quote, it's something I'm not actively pursuing. It's not something I'm actively pursuing as far as a return to in-ring action goes. Let's play the audio for you guys and let you hear what he had said here.
Years old, and I've lived an experienced life.
Wind that back a little bit.
So, regardless of what my answer is, there's somebody that's always going to be upset with it, right? And like as I've said, I've stated, I work for Fox. I haven't talked to anybody in WWE. It's nothing that I'm actively pursuing or interested in. But I'm 41 years old, and I've lived an experienced life where I know to not say no.
Sure.
But that's going to be a bridge that is going to have to be built, and it might take as long as building the Great Wall of China, because there's some hurdles. There's some hurdles there.
So, and I sincerely believe that as far as the hurdles go that he's talking about, I know some people would probably be quick to say, all right, so it comes right down to the dollar bill then, right? I think that might be part of it. I mean, the most interesting question that we as fans, journalists, members of the media can ask ourselves right now is, CM Punk has gone he's spoken his piece on some things political and headlines and everything, and he's very outspoken. One thing that jumps out at me though is, okay, so with regards to this Saudi Arabia deal, what's going on with Punk? Is that something he would entertain? Would he entertain, basically 7 figures for doing a match for 20 minutes for the Crown Prince? Is that something he would entertain? Right? And it's kind of one of those, good question, and shit, I would have loved to have asked him that on WWE Backstage, like inquiring minds want to know. But I don't think it's to the point that many people are thinking money. That's what it's going to take. It's going to come down to money. I think money is only a very small part of it. I think the big part of it, I personally feel that there is still hurt feelings. I still feel that there is a little bit of disappointment. There is still hurt from how WWE had handled him. Come on, man. All those times that he was banged up and he's hurting shit and hey pal, how you doing? And he kept busting his ass and busting his ass and busting his ass. And when it counted the most and it was time for him to get his just due, he just kept getting snubbed, and just everything, how it manifested with him and everything. But then the worst part of it all, to basically find out about your firing on your wedding day and all that other shit after everything that he did for the WWE. Yeah, there's a lot of, you need to squash that. You definitely need to squash that. And I think they will. I think they will in due time. I think they will. I think for now, he comes off like, and when you're watching WWE Backstage, there's no deny, he seems to really be having a lot of fun doing what he's doing as an analyst. And it's very refreshing to hear his thoughts on a product in which he hasn't been watching. He hasn't watched it since he left the damn company. So it's nice to hear the perspective of somebody who isn't like us. You got me, you've got my fellow friends in podcasting that are watching all of these shows every single week to talk about the highs and the lows and the stuff in between. We're giving praise where we can and everything. Whereas it's nice that you got somebody like Punk who hasn't been watching it consistently like we have, and is not only able to pick up right where he left off, but can also bring up things that maybe, okay, well, we didn't consider that, right? So it's actually nice having him on that show, and it's even cooler that this isn't a weekly thing. He's only going to be showing up from time to time. So, and that's a really smart way that Fox is doing it and everything. And the shit that he had to say with regards to Seth Rollins, I couldn't agree with it more. You know, I've been saying this off and on for years for wrestlers in particular, which is, why care about some of the things that people are saying about you or the product on social media, right? Like, why? You know, and every time you turn around, you see some of these wrestlers, they are responding to people that have 30-something followers. They don't have an avatar, right? No image, nothing. All they got on their Twitter profile is nothing but fucking GIF images, cartoon images, or whatever. There's no actual sentence structure whatsoever on their fucking timeline. And you're like, well, why are you even wasting your time saying something to this individual, right? You know, and I used to always wonder that. I used to always wonder, well, you know, why do these people take their time and then it hit me, and I can't take all the credit for this. I gotta give a shout out to my friend Don Tony. Don Tony, he brought up a very good point, which was, he said, you know, they do this because just imagine if they were to go after somebody on Twitter that had constructive criticism, but they've got 1,000, 3,000, 5,000, 10,000 followers. They don't want to face the scrutiny of all of those fans from that person's social media account coming back at them, because it would be a serious backlash, and then obviously they would lose. So that's why it's more easier for them to tackle somebody that has 30-something followers or more. It's like, I never, all these years, like I never understood why they would respond to people with 30 followers or less. But yeah, after kind of taking a step back and hearing that beautiful explanation, I couldn't help but say that makes a lot of fucking sense. Yes, that makes a lot of sense. That has to be it. Couldn't be anything else. You know, but it's like, yeah, it's like, and Seth Rollins is one of those guys that takes shit way too personal. I can't tell you how many shows, including ours, that he went on a blocking spree and just, yeah, you know, it's like, don't worry about what people are saying about you. Don't worry about what people are saying about, look, if you're gonna be doing that type of shit and going on a blocking spree, maybe you shouldn't be on social media, period, because that kind of demonstrates that, to a degree, you have thin skin. You should be able to take constructive criticism well, especially if the end result is people that are offering constructive criticism in such way, they're trying to be respectful, and all in all, they just want better. They just want a better performance. They just want a better product at the end of the day. There's nothing wrong with that. And so to see a guy like Seth Rollins, who is number one when it comes to the way he handles any type of criticism, yeah, I like what Punk was saying as far as lay off the Twitter. I totally agree with that. I mean, here's a guy that was scot-free. He was in a position where he deactivated his Twitter account a couple of weeks ago. And you're like, oh, okay, so he's putting Twitter behind him. Okay, great. Only to bring it back, and you know, it's like, come on, really? Like seriously, really? So, and with regards to the whole putting a hashtag behind everything, come on, man, when you get right down to the heart of the matter, that's WWE's own way of branding. That is their own way of marketing. That is their own way of, when you think from a monetary monopoly standpoint, that is their way of always trying to figure out some type of way to, this is our own little niche right here that we've carved out. That's what it comes down to, basically, why they're continuing to do what they're doing. Should there be a hashtag behind every single fucking thing? No, some things should just be, you know, like with Jericho and the whole little bit of the bubbly and Le Champion and all that other shit. It just stumble upon it beautifully, and all right, it's a hashtag. Hey, we can make some shirts off of this shit. Hey, how about that? That's cool, right? But yeah, I'm with him as far as the women overall being one of the best highlights from WWE. The women have been doing a really good job. You know, there's a couple look, there was a little bit of a dark period there where for the women's division it was kind of what the fuck. Just think back about 4 months ago. You know, just look back on where we were as far as champions and particularly the women's tag champions and everything. You're kind of like, you know, can Ronda Rousey come back a lot sooner already? We're kind of missing her right now. But for me, I like what's going on with the women right now. I would feel even more. I like what's going on with the women's division once Nia Jax comes back, once Ruby Riott comes back. I would actually like to see Tamina a little bit in more rotation. Whenever Ronda is ready to come back, I sorely miss Ronda Rousey. Would love to see her back into the fold once again. But yeah, when you get all of those girls back into it, I think that's when things are really going to start popping and things are really going to start getting interesting and everything. So, but going back to that whole WWE return and everything, you know, look, I'm like this. Never say never, right? WWE ultimately made peace with the Poffo family on behalf of Macho Man. They made peace with Bruno Sammartino. They made peace with Ultimate Warrior right before he passed. Say what you will about the Hulkster. They made peace with him. They made peace with fucking Bill Goldberg, right? And Bill Goldberg, one of the most outspoken people as far as how he did not like his run in the WWE the last go round. You know, for him to make peace, come on back and everything, right? You're looking at that. We thought we'd never see Sting in a WWE ring. We got Sting in the WWE. You know, it's one thing we've seen over the years is never say never. And there was a lot of fences that had to be mended in order for the necessary parties involved to come together and do business with one another, right? Let bygones be bygones and everything. WWE and CM Punk, if they haven't already, they will get to that point. They definitely will get to that point. How long do I think it's going to take before CM Punk is in a ring? I addressed this question before. I'll double down and I'll say it again. I know he said he's 41. That don't mean nothing to me. What matters to me is the in-ring conditioning. That's what matters to me the most. The mind, from what you saw on backstage, as far as the promos, and Punk is still lightning sharp. Okay, he is still witty as fuck on his feet. Right? So that's not the issue. The real question is, okay, it's been 6 years since you've been in the ring. In-ring conditioning, can you still go in there and can you still hang with some of those guys? And I'm not going to mention any names, but I actually was shocked at hearing one of my colleagues. I don't know if one of my colleagues was saying this just to sound like somewhat of a shock jock, but I heard him say, hey, there's no match I want to see CM Punk have. There's no match that jumps out to me. You know, I don't care to see him wrestle. I'm good. Now, I'm good too with the current body of work that's available to check out from CM Punk's entire career. But to say there's nobody in the WWE for CM Punk to fight, as soon as I heard him say this, I just grabbed a pen and paper and just off the break, I just let my hand do the work, and some of the names that have flew off the break for me were Undertaker. I mean, that is a very simplistic storyline right there. I don't care if you do it at a WrestleMania or if you do it at a future pay-per-view that's not WrestleMania. CM Punk taking on Undertaker. It's all about CM Punk revenge, basically. I thought what they had going in that respective Mania, I thought that was a great fucking story. I got behind it, and it was nice hearing CM Punk double down on what exactly was his mindset going into that match against Undertaker, because there was so much bullshit that was surrounding, oh, well, Punk, didn't like this, he didn't want to do this, and blah this and blah that. Go back and watch the StarCast joint with Mike Johnson. They had to address that match and everything, where his mindset was, and it was quite the opposite of all the stuff that was being said about him. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, I felt what those two men had did for me personally, Punk should have retained that championship. He should have fucking retained the championship. Jarrett, there's no way you can call into the show. Oh, Jarrett, I'm using the wrong thumbnail, buddy. Sorry. No wonder you had said that. Yeah, hey guys, I am so sorry. That is a old thumbnail. As a matter of fact, let me see if I can actually change that right now here. Bear with me a second here. And let me see if I might be able to change that. Yeah, that's an old banner. I got to give a shout out to my man Shaheen. Shaheen has been helping me with some new graphic banners for the show that I'm going to be unveiling in 2020. And I was playing around the other night with one of the banners that he was working for me. And sadly, I thought the banner I had put up was the one that did not have this graphic. I thought the banner I had put up was the old one. Yeah, we used to have that number some months back, but we got rid of it because when it was all said and done, we had people that were abusing the phone number. And there were weirdos that were calling, leaving multiple messages that were blank and shit. So we hurried up and we had shut that down real quick. As far as trying to get patched into the show and everything, there is a way you can do it. It's actually going to be via our Discord, where we're able to have listeners come in that way. And that's actually free to join and everything. You can definitely look into that if maybe you want to try to be patched into the show. But let me see here. Let me see if I can do something real quick here and see if I can take that out. I might not be able to. Actually, you know what? I think I know how I can counter here. Hang on a second. Let's see. We'll go to image and I will say add new source. And I will say... I'm going to say add a new source instead. And we'll add that. Okay. And let's see here. Now, some of you guys may say, well, Lee, why not just bust out the new banner? I'm not going to do it until 2020. That's why. All right. So let's see here. All right. So there's that banner. Let's blow that up here. And let's see here. And let's stretch this out a little more. Let's see if I can just stretch that out a little more. I'll be good to go. Let's see here. Bear with me a second here, guys. Don't worry. When it comes to post-production, I'm going to have all this edited out later. Boom. All right. Perfect. All right. So, yeah, that's what we've been pushing. Yeah, that phone number is so fucking old. That phone number, there hasn't been a phone number like 9 months or some shit like that. Or might even be over a year. So, yeah. Sorry about that, buddy. All right. So, anyway, going back to CM Punk. Yeah, there's a lot of bridges that has to be mended before you can even entertain the idea of doing a freaking match. You know, and until you cross that bridge, 2 years tops, I'm thinking, before CM Punk gets in there again. But yeah, the point that I was making earlier, to hear one of my colleagues say, man, there's no matches I can think of with Punk. I mean, off the break for me, Undertaker, we already talked about that. The Rock, you know, I pretty much highlighted that. Give me Daniel Bryan. Yeah, we saw it before, but shit, give it to me again. I mean, everybody would be happy with that. Here's one that I don't see a lot of people talking about. CM Punk, AJ Styles. I mean, come on now. That would be fucking insane. I will even take CM Punk taking on Roman Reigns. I think that would be a very interesting matchup as well. I would also like to see CM Punk taking on Andrade. CM Punk facing Aleister Black. If they can just tone this Edgar Allan Poe shit down and everything, and really make him go back to being the badass that he was down in NXT and everything, then yeah, that would be a very, very interesting matchup. Not to mention, Aleister Black and Punk would be an interesting tag team. You know, if you wanted to go maybe the tag team route and see the two of them become tag team champions, that would be a very, very interesting fucking matchup. Give me CM Punk and Cesaro. That would be pretty badass. You can also give me we already said Aleister Black. You could also give me Ricochet and CM Punk. Give me a heel CM Punk putting over a face Ricochet. That would be pretty fucking badass. Give me Velveteen Dream and CM Punk. I mean, the combinations are just endless. And like I said, I put my pen to the paper and I had like all of those names down within seconds. It was just fucking easy for me. So to go with the whole notion of there's no matches for CM Punk, there is matches for CM Punk. The real question is, with regards to those matches for Punk, is, okay, well, can we, tell these stories in such a way that's very riveting that, okay, the story is there, but when it's time to actually go into these matches, can the matches actually deliver? Which again ties into the whole in-ring cardio, the conditioning, and all that other shit. So only time will tell. But I'm thinking 2 years tops that it's probably going to take before we see him in the ring again. So basically 2022 is what I'm saying. I'll say maybe, for me, it kind of feels like maybe, I'm saying 2022, right? I will say, I'm a little conflicted. It kind of feels like, if not summer of 2022, it feels like fall of 2022 is maybe when Punk will be back. That's just kind of the vibe I'm getting. But you've got a short window of opportunity. Just the fact that he has left it out there, never say never and everything, you got to capitalize. So I think they're going to be able to get it done. He's 41 right now. I think they're going to be able to definitely get it done before he's 44. I think they're going to be able to get him 43. 43. Definitely age 43. They're going to be able to get him in there doing this thing. So we'll wait and see what happens with that. All right. Trying to see if there's a couple more topics I want to get into before we go over those cards for this weekend. And bear with me a second here. Triple H did have a media conference call, by the way. And we told you guys on Monday night how you got the reports floating around that he's thinking about possibly being in that match at Survivor Series representing Team NXT and everything. But there was one thing he had said in particular that had caught my eye. I had wanted to share with you, and I'm kind of paraphrasing here, as he was asked about his thoughts on the latest round of people wanting their releases from the WWE. And he kept it short and sweet. He basically said, look, if people no longer want to be working for us, nothing wrong with that. I totally respect that, but come to us directly. There is no reason to take to social media and do that. And I'm paraphrasing here, but essentially what he said was, people that, operate in the fashion of going to social media and talking about you want your release from the company and everything, he basically was saying it's an immature way of handling it, and you're not really serious about the business if you're conducting yourself like that. Now, whoever had asked him that question honestly should have countered and said, okay, I hear where you're coming from, but what do you say to those that maybe did come to you guys directly, ask for their release, and they kind of felt as though you guys were strong arming them to a certain degree, that you all were not complying? You weren't trying to work with them and finding a amicable release, where both parties just walk away, no harm, no foul. That would have been a really great follow-up question. So I really wish that would have been tackled. But yeah, I mean, I agree with what he's saying, but at the same time, it's like, unless, see, that's why you couldn't have me in there on some of those media conference calls, because that's just how I'm thinking. I hear something like that. That's the immediate, and that should have been whoever asked him that question. That should have been the immediate rebuttal / question, just to see what he would say. Even if it's a case where he says, you know, well, not for nothing, but we do try to work with our towns and we do care about them. And if they can't do the schedule anymore, they don't want to work with us anymore, we do try to find peaceful resolutions. But I really believe that Triple H sincerely was speaking from the heart. I kind of feel as though he's at that point where you want to go. It's fine. We're going to be all right. We got the Performance Center. We got all these talents in the world. We're going to be just fine. You know, next man, next woman up. You know, I think the real question is, what other forces are at play, if any? And we've heard some stuff over the years, but what other forces are at play, if any, that is maybe kind of putting their thumb down on some of these people that want to be released, but said individual is going, no, I don't want to let them go just yet, right? So, yeah, I thought that was a very interesting question there that was in the conference call, but I was even more perplexed as far as no rebuttal that was going on in there. And
also, SmackDown viewership numbers. Congrats to SmackDown. SmackDown for last Friday had drew a 2.309 million viewer number. So, you know, that's not too bad. Some people are looking at that and they're saying it's down. It's not down by that much, because the episode before that, it was 2.350 million viewers. So, I mean, that's not really that bad. They drew a 0.7 rating in the key 18 to 49 demographic. Show was tied with CBS's Hawaii 5-0 for first place in that demo. And it finished 9th among network shows in terms of viewership. So, I mean, that's not really that bad whatsoever. So, more curious to see what's going to be happening with this coming Fridays, since you got the Go Home show and everything that's going to be happening. Also, with regards to Alicia Fox, this is kind of a no-brainer, but Alicia Fox had shared on social media that for the past couple of years she has been battling alcoholism, and she's been sober now for the past couple of months. And she had shared a post. I'll read it to you guys. She said, "For a while, I thought I could avoid addressing my recovery of alcohol. I am human, and realized it was time to be transparent and honest with you, social media. Now written on Cyber Concrete. Today, I'm a few months sober. I've creatively navigated my emotions, snagged some new skills, and I want to help. I've learned that alcoholism is a life-threatening situation, and support is available." I put the A in there because she didn't. "I figured I can share my insight and be of service to anyone finding it hard to believe that you are important and deserve an opportunity to learn how to live a clean and sober life. If it would be an honor to share my hope, strength, and experience. Snail mail me at Resilience Among Mankind, 3948 3rd Street, South Suite, number 442, Jacksonville Beach, 32250. I'm inviting everyone to a safe social place to discuss and expand understanding of our transforming minds." Okay, thanks for allowing me to get that off my chest. So, look, I'm happy. I'm happy for her, because, you know, we've kind of known that, you know, this is something that's been happening with her as far as demons go for a while now, but it's never been publicly addressed. But you kept hearing from people with ties to the WWE that, oh yeah, that girl likes to fucking party. She is a drinker and she abuses the hell out of them. Watch out, and sometimes a lot of those matches that we saw of Alicia Fox, you couldn't help but wonder what the hell is going on with her, right? And I can remember a time where a lot of the matches that Alicia Fox was doing early in her career, I remember singing the praises of Alicia Fox multiple times, right down to the point I had her being one of my underrated workhorses in the WWE from the females division side. And it just seemed like within the past 4 years, give or take, she was, what the fuck is going on? So, step one is admitting you've got your demons, admitting you have your problems. That's the first step. And then the second step is all about, okay, well, now that you've admitted, okay, you're getting your help. That's great. Now, what's going on with your support system? Do you have a really good support system that is in place? And hopefully you do. Okay, well, now you got that great support system that's in place. Okay, great. Well, now it's just all about the consistency. And it doesn't matter if you have been sober or drug-free for a week, for 2 months or 3 months or a year. You got to take it one day at a time. You're never going to be rid of these demons. These demons are going to be with you for the rest of your life, and you're going to drive yourself crazy if you just one day into two. You have to take and treat each day as it comes, because essentially you are learning something new about yourself every single day that you didn't even know existed about yourself, and take it from somebody that has had a loved one that dealt with alcoholism, that dealt with drug substances, abusing the hell out of them. Take it from somebody that has seen with their own two eyes what it's like to see a loved one deal with those demons, and knock on wood now has been alcohol and drug free for almost 20 years now, right? And I'm happy that Alicia Fox, she's in this great emotional, spiritual, mental place of recovery and everything. And it sounds like what she's doing for herself as far as this great support system that's around her and trying to get people involved and everything in it, it's great. It's very empowering. It's very uplifting. But yeah, one day at a time. This is something that you're never ever gonna be able to just say, yeah, I beat it, I mastered it. And if you need any other people for greatest inspiration, words of wisdom and all that, look to a guy like Jim Cornette. That's definitely, I'm sorry, I said Jim Cornette. I said Jim Cornette because I'm seeing a picture of him here on my Twitter timeline. No, look to a person such as Chris Carter. That is somebody that you could definitely go to. That is somebody that has had their own respective share of demons in the past. Hey, let's go ahead and let's talk about NXT's TakeOver, and let's also talk about the Survivor Series card here. All right, as we're winding down the stretch, we got War Games coming up. Illinois at the Allstate Arena this Saturday. Heads up for you Patreon members. You Patreon members will get the NXT TakeOver War Games post show. That's exclusive to you guys. Also, Saturday, there's going to be the 2-hour season finale of WoW Women of Wrestling. Now, that we'll be covering for everybody. WoW has always been free, or WoW recaps. It's always been free for everybody to check out. So that will be dropping on Saturday. But Patreon members, make sure you check out the NXT Survivor Series post-show exclusive for you guys. And never too late to join, man. Patreon.com/RCWR Show. Check out bonus audio, video content. Great majority you won't be able to find anywhere else. Let's dive into this card, man. So right now we got 4 matches. Right now we got Pete Dunne taking on Killian Dane, Damian Priest. It's a triple threat match to determine a number one contender for the NXT Championship at Survivor Series. Shit. Oh, man. Number one contender for the NXT Championship at Survivor Series. I am gonna go with... man, this is a tough one, guys. This is a damn tough one. I'm gonna go with Pete Dunne. And that's final. I'm gonna go with Pete Dunne. I love fucking Pete Dunne. Damian Priest, he's coming along. Punishment Martinez, he's coming along, man, but not just yet. Not just yet. If they do decide to pull the trigger with him, and it's him that goes into Survivor Series for the title, I mean, hey, that's great. But I'm definitely not seeing Killian Day. I'm definitely not seeing that. I'm seeing Pete Dunne. Matt Riddle takes on Finn Balor. Assuming this ain't going to be the Demon, right? So, Finn Balor, this is like him officially back on NXT, right? Well, shouldn't you have everything go off and popping for the man? Riddle can afford a loss right here, can't he? The real question is there going to be a little bit of interference from Balor Club, right? I'm going to say Balor. I'm going to go with Balor. War Games match, Undisputed Eras, Adam Cole, Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong taking on Tommaso Ciampa, Keith Lee, Dominic Dijakovic, and a opponent, another tag partner there, / opponent, to be announced. Let's see, Undisputed Era, or do you go with the other guys? I am gonna go with... Oh, man, this is a tough one, guys. This is a tough one. I am going to go with... Suspension of disbelief, shock value, concern. I'm gonna go with the team of Ciampa, Lee, Dijakovic, and their to-be-announced partner to pull the upset over the Undisputed Era and have one of those last burning images be, hey man, Undisputed Era, they didn't get it off and popping here at War Games. Is this maybe a taste of things to come at Survivor Series? Is it possible that we're counting down the hours of Adam Cole's reign as NXT champion? Put that little doubt out there. So that's kind of the direction I would go in. All right, what's our other match here? Rhea Ripley, Candice LeRae, Tegan Nox, and Mia Yim taking on Shayna Baszler, Io Shirai, Bianca Belair, and Kaylee Ray. Shit. I am liking the team of Ripley, LeRae, Nox, Mia Yim. I'm liking that team, but put an asterisk by that, because Dakota Kai, could she still maybe be a factor? Is that even a possibility? You kind of can't help but wonder that, right? So, but I'm gonna go with Team Ripley. I'm feeling kind of confident. I'm gonna go with Team Ripley. All right, and then we've got Survivor Series. Let's look at the Survivor Series card. And one more time, just in case you had missed that, one more time, I'm going with Pete Dunne for your triple threat. I'm going with Finn Balor over Matt Riddle. I'm going with Team Ciampa over the Undisputed Era. And I'm going with Team Ripley. Wow, so I got, let me look at this here. I've got face, heel, and then basically, technically, face. Yeah, I'm sticking to that. I'm sticking to that. Those are my picks. All right, let's go with Survivor Series here. Let's see how this is looking. Where's your card here? Where's your card? Matches. Okay, the one time I'm ready to look at a goddamn card for Survivor Series, this is a first. The card here for Wikipedia has been butchered as fuck. I don't know how the hell I'm supposed to read that. For you guys, go into Wikipedia right now for Survivor Series. It looks like somebody was trying to do a solid and edit, but they like butchered the hell out of it, so it looks very mumbo jumboed. So let me actually see if I can find a better card. If anybody happens to have a better card, send me a link real quick. And meantime, let me see what we got for matches here. Give me an update here. Who's got what here? Okay, we got something from 15 hours ago, but it's from Bleacher Report, and Bleacher Report usually has ads that will play audio. Let me see if I can go in here real quick and just get the damn thing. Okay, so I think I'm safe. I think I'm safe. I don't see anything that looks like it's gonna load up. Okay, we should be good. Okay, let's see what we got here. Brock Lesnar taking on Rey Mysterio for the WWE Universal Championship. Actually, no. Rey has the Universal Championship. Brock's got the WWE Championship. He has the title. Should be a great match. I was talking about this a little bit on Monday night, and I feel that this match should be going at least 13 minutes long. This should be, like, for all intents and purposes, this should be like the freaking match of the night as far as I'm concerned. But I'm seeing Lesnar retain. You still can't help but wonder how much of a factor is Dominic and Cain Velasquez going to play in this. Is it even remotely possible that Rey Mysterio could come out as the new champion? You know, you kind of got to have that in the back of your mind. But then most importantly, what exactly are you going to be doing there with Dominic? Like, I've been saying off and on for a couple of months, turn Dominic heel. Like, it just feels like the writing's on the wall that he's maybe going to turn on his dad. You know, what grander stage to do it than here, right? You're looking to make a name for yourself and be the better wrestler than your dad, right? Now, I don't want to just go into this and be like, oh, this person's gonna... Can I put a bold prediction out there? Right? I just want to put a nice, big, bold prediction on this. I feel as though not only is Rey Mysterio going to lose, it's going to be a great entertaining match. But I feel it's post-match where things are really going to be WTF. And Brock Lesnar excels even more as a monster heel. And really, 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 you know, look, if I'm booking this match, 13 minutes, entertaining us fucking everything, a little bit of a cat and mouse game. Rey Mysterio is using his speed. He's trying to do his best to take away the knees of Lesnar and everything, right? And just using his speed, doing all the technical high-flying stuff and everything, right? He's on the offense for the first several minutes. Eventually, Lesnar's going to get the upper hand. He's going to be feeling a little bit too cocky, a little bit too much of bravado. Feel like he's got the match right where he wants it. I can see a couple of times where he goes in for a cover. Mysterio kicks out. He's a little bit shocked a little bit. Keeps playing around with him. Same thing happens. Gets a little bit frustrated. Tries to go in again. Mysterio gets on the up and up. On the offense. Surprised the hell out of him. You know, I can see some shit going on like that. And remember, this is supposed to be, I believe, a no disqualification match too, if I'm not mistaken. It's got some type of stipulation applied to it. So it's going to be an entertaining matchup, but I can just see something going down where Brock Lesnar rips off the mask of Rey Mysterio, and usually cameras will pan away and all that other shit. I see some shit going down where Brock Lesnar puts Rey Mysterio's face all up in the cameras and shit. I'm just seeing that. And like, you know, the old saying about the Lucha Libre mask and all that other shit. Now, there's been a couple of times where we've come a little bit close to seeing Rey Mysterio get unmasked. on WWE TV over the years, and you're like, oh man, well, this has to be the end of him, right? And I just kind of feel like that's the direction we're going to go in. And then you can easily have a good transition there where Dominic can pretty much be the new Rey Mysterio, right? That's definitely an angle that I'm seeing. So, yeah, that's the vibe I'm getting from this matchup. Will it go down? I'm not that convinced, but if I was booking it, that is how I would lay it down. Now, if you were to ask me straight up, you know, come on, Lee, feel your convictions, back up, brother. I'm going to say look for that. I think Brock Lesnar is going to ultimately beat the living shit out of Rey Mysterio, and everything is going to culminate in that mask coming off. So look for that. All right, let's keep going here. We got the 5-on-5 Women's Survivor Series elimination matchup. All right, yeah, but who does this consist of? Who are the participants? That's what I want to know. Let's see. Who are the participants? See if I can pull this up here. Yeah, Bleacher's not exactly helping me here with the 5-on-5. Let me see. I gotta go back to... Oh, God. Hang on, guys. I'm trying to look at this. It's all mumble-jumble bullshit. So it looks like Team Raw is Charlotte Flair, Natty, Asuka, Kairi Sane, Sarah Logan. How the fuck did Sarah Logan get in there? It's like you wake up one day and there's a wart on your goddamn hand. Versus Team SmackDown, which is Sasha Banks, Carmella, Dana Brooke. There's another wart that's led on in there. Lacey Evans and Nikki Cross. Versus Team NXT. We still don't know who Team NXT is supposed to be for Survivor Series. Is that right, guys? Is that right? So it's 5-on-5-on-5, and we still don't know who the 5 women are from. Well, I guess essentially it's going to be whoever wins from War Games, right? So in this case, I had said that it was going to be Team Rhea Ripley, right? That was going to go into this. Okay, so interesting. Damn, let me look at this again. This is a tough one, guys. Seriously, this is a tough one. I'm not seeing Team SmackDown win. I can tell you that right now. So just process of elimination for me. Take them out. Comes down to Team NXT and Team Raw. Interesting. I am going to go with Team Raw. I'll say Team Raw goes over. All right, where's our next match here? What we got? Bray Wyatt takes on Daniel Bryan for the WWE, or actually, correction, Bray Wyatt faces Daniel Bryan for the Cool Ranch Doritos title.
Hey guys, how you doing? Jay Leno here. How you guys doing? Hey, you ever get hungry? You know, you get hungry like me. You want to have yourself a little bit of a snack, and what I like to snack on is Cool Ranch Doritos. It's got a nice, cool, creamy flavor, and it's got a great crunch to it. You can have what's, just a nice little crunch, the crunch on them.
I gotta go with Bray Wyatt. Come on, man. How can I pick against Bray Wyatt right now, man? And isn't this like officially his first title defense too, with the Cool Ranch Doritos title? So yeah, come on. I can't pick against a man that has the Cool Ranch Doritos title. Come on, I'm not gonna bet against that, man. Come on now.
Try the Cool Ranch. They're nice and crunchy.
5-on-5 Men's Survivor Series elimination matchup. Okay, so who we got going on in this one here? This is another one of those. I got to go back to the other one here. All right, so Team Raw. Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, Kevin Owens, Randy Orton, Ricochet. I'm already telling you right now, with the past history there of Randy Orton and Ricochet, right? Just looking at that. Ooh wee. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think there's going to be a little bit of a dissension, if you will, for Team Raw. Team SmackDown, Roman Reigns, Mustafa Ali, Braun Strowman, King Corbin, Shorty G. Taking on Team NXT. Man, Triple H, you know Triple H is going to be part of that. He's got to be. Shit, man. This is a tough one here, man. This is a tough one. I'm going to go with Team NXT. Because out of these, NXT's got to come out on top in one of these for the nice big bragging rights. I got to go. But see, you would think I would go the opposite because NXT has been somewhat dominating these past several weeks, right? But everything finally kind of got balanced out with what they had there tonight. And then you got one more episode to go with SmackDown. So, tough one, guys. Tough one. I'm going to stick with NXT, though. I'm going to stick with them. All right, let's see what else we got here. What's the next matchup here? This is a tough one here because everything's mumbo-jumboed. Is that it? Wait, that's it? Come on now, you got to have some more matches. Hang on here, guys. Where's the other matches here? All right, we covered that. Okay, I'm just looking at this one more time here. So we got Rey Mysterio, Brock Lesnar. We got that. Yeah, I knew I missed one. Hang on here. It looks like Becky Lynch, Raw Women's Champion, versus the SmackDown Women's Champion, Bayley, versus Shayna Baszler, NXT Women's Champion here. This is brand supremacy, triple threat. SmackDown. I'm going to go with Bayley. I'm going to go with Bayley for the win. Bayley really needs this, I personally feel. Last thing I want to do, and last thing I want for fans to see is this new incarnation of Bayley. And she's the one that eats the pin or the submission. I don't want to see that. We don't need to make her look like a weak champion and all that shit. So if there's a way for her to somehow get out hook or by crook, Bayley is the one that really needs to go over in this one. So yeah, I'm putting a nice circle around her, and that'd be a nice nod for SmackDown, bragging rights and all that for Fox and everything. Yeah, go with that one. All right, what else we got here? Viking Raiders. Looks like they're representing Raw, taking on New Day. Representing SmackDown, taking on the Undisputed Era's Bobby Fish and Kylie O'Reilly. This is a triple threat tag team matchup. I will go with... I will go with... New Day. I'll go with New Day. Let's see, are we missing anything else? I think now I'm caught up with all the matches here, but I'm just double checking here. Because sadly, Bleacher didn't have all the matches, so I had to go back to that funky ass Wikipedia thing. Okay, alright, so let's recap. And I'm taking these out of order, so you guys got to forgive me. Alright, so for Lesnar versus Mysterio, I'm going with Lesnar. Look out for that ripping of the mask. No holds barred match too is what that is for the WWE Championship. I've got Bayley going over Lynch and Baszler in that triple threat match, brand supremacy. I've got New Day going over Viking Raiders and Undisputed Era in that triple threat tag team match for brand supremacy. I've got Team Raw, Charlotte, Natty, Asuka, Kairi Sane, Logan. I've got them over Team SmackDown, Sasha Banks, Carmella, Dana Brooke, Lacey Evans, Nikki Cross. and Team NXT being represented by Team Rhea Ripley. I got them going over. Team Raw, that is. I got Team Raw going over. I've got Team NXT going over Team Raw and Team SmackDown for the men there. 5 on 5 on 5 on 5 there. And then, am I missing anything else here? Yes, I am. For the Cool Ranch Doritos title, Seth, make sure you put that in, man. Cool Ranch Doritos title. I've got The Fiend Bray Wyatt defeating Daniel Bryan for it. And it looks like that is all the matches. Okay. Yeah, normally I can get through these goddamn cards a lot quicker, but that was funky how that layout was. I'm with you, Austin. Austin had said, I hope Triple H is not in the match. He doesn't need to be. He doesn't need to be, but like, it's his fucking baby, right? So, you know, he's got to be in there. And it's Survivor Series. I don't mind it. When Triple H is in a situation like how it's probably going to be laid out, and he's going to be part of it and everything, I'm totally fine with that. I'm totally fine with that. What just really sucks, though, is that it's not that balanced out. You know what I mean? Like, Shane McMahon got relieved of duties, so, you know, essentially there's no authority figure, if you will, to represent SmackDown to kind of at least counter Triple H, right? And then you could also make the same argument for Monday Night Raw, right? There was ever a time where, hey, Kurt Angle, hook us up, man. What do you say? Can you represent for us? Yeah, like, you don't even have that. So I would like to see, I don't have a problem with Triple H being in there, but I think that's the key match. Regardless of if Triple H is the X factor for that match or not, I feel like NXT definitely needs to win that key matchup for sure. Definitely that key matchup. All right, so on that note, that is pretty much going to do it. So you guys got like a 2-hour, 15-minute broadcast. I told you when it comes to the Wednesday night shows, it's following up from Monday. When it comes to the Wednesday night shows, I don't mind going a little bit longer. It's just those Monday night shows going until 1:30, and then I got to mix it and all that other shit. Oh, thank you. I don't want to do that. So, yeah. So here's the programming notes for the rest of this week. So we've got Friday night that's going to be coming up. I think we took last Friday off. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure that we did. We did take last Friday off. We'll go ahead since it has to do with Survivor Series. I'll be back with you guys on Friday night, and we'll cover SmackDown Fallout. And also we'll have the return of our Painting with Lee series. So we'll be doing that late night. So probably be like about an hour, maybe almost a 2-hour intermission between the shows on Friday night. And then we'll go into our next Painting with Lee series. And then Saturday night, again, Patreon members, you guys will get the NXT Wargames post show. Again, Patreon members. And then for everybody else, Saturday night, you'll get my Wild Women of Wrestling Season 2 finale recap. And then Sunday night, we'll have the Survivor Series post show. That'll be live on all the platforms. I haven't done it in a good minute, but we're actually going to bring Facebook back into the groove of things with that Survivor Series post show. So a lot of great content that's going to be coming you guys' way for the rest of the week. I'm looking forward to it. If you haven't done so already, I do appreciate you guys that check out the show every single week. Ask yourself this question: why have you not joined our Discord yet? If you haven't joined our Discord yet, did you know it's free? You don't have to pay anything, and you can stay better connected to me and other listeners of the RCWR show. Not for nothing, we've got about a total of like 30 people that's part of our Discord family. So if you're not part of that, do consider being part of the Discord family. You can interact with me, other people, and coming soon in 2020, there's going to be some of the shows that we do, which is going to be strictly live in the Discord. And like, who was the person in the chat earlier? They thought they were going to be able to call into the show, but it was an old number. I think his name was Jarrett. You know, people like Jarrett, you know, if you join the Discord, when we do get ready to start doing the live shows, you know, we'll have a portion open up where you can actually be patched into the show. I won't really say it's You can call in, but it's a button that basically you press and, we're able to get you on and you can talk live and everything with everybody else. But 2020, we're definitely going to be implementing, that in the Discord there for some of the shows that we do. So, and it's free. You don't got to pay anything. All you got to do is just make sure you have the Discord link so that you can join the server, which is in the episode description. It's there right now for you guys to check out. So peep it out and do join in. As soon as you join, make sure you say hello, identify yourself, let us know who you are, because we've got me and one other moderator. If we don't see you make your announcement, say who you are and everything, we're like really quick to kick you out. Because unfortunately, you got some Discord like bots that will just pop in. It's like a scam thing that's going on. You got some bots that'll come in there just to be nosy, gather information, and then private message people. And me and my moderator, we've done a fantastic job in how we're holding it down with our Discord. So, you don't have to worry about that. But if you're a real person, pop in there, say hello, introduce yourself and all that. Good shit, man. Good shit. Get at me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Use the keywords, the RCWR Show. And you can check out previous episodes you may have missed for on demand and on the downloads. And yeah, as I always say, as I close out the shows, man, look, if you enjoy the show, spread the word, subscribe, leave ratings and reviews. If you're watching the webcast version, leave the thumbs up, all that good stuff. It helps. It really, really does help, right? You want to support the show? Check out the Patreon page, patreon.com/RCWR Show. That's going to do it, guys. Until Friday night for SmackDown coverage, I'm wishing all y'all to be safe. Most importantly, be kind to one another. I will see you guys next go round. Those of you waiting for the audio version of this, it's rather late. I will do the audio version of this, have it nice and cleaned up, ready to go Thursday evening after I get in from work. So I do appreciate everybody's patience, but in the meantime, enjoy the webcast version. All right, guys, much love. Take care.